fielding by the man at point. The ball went quickly away to his right. Is it Kofi James?
Yes, it is.
Yes, and he made a very, very good save with his right hand. And the non-striker had already committed himself, and the striker had to put the accelerator down and managed to get to the danger end. Kofi James firing the ball to the bowler's end.
Yes, and I think the batsman may have made his ground, but I think he also benefited from the poor positioning of the umpire at that time.
So here is and the ball beats him, and it goes and hits the wicketkeeper and falls in front of him, and there is no run. A ball well up from Kareem Agor, the left arm spin. He's bowling around the wicket, and the batsman played a drive and missed. Go is in, and he's driving hard into the ground, and the ball goes on the bounce to the bowler. He fields, and so the overs come to an end, and Kareem Agor is going off. This is not a good sign. He has called for the sub, and he's going off, and that hamstring seems to be a real concern. He's limping.
Yes, it appears as if even throughout the over he was struggling a bit, and I think he might be. I don't think it is a situation where it is making him unmovable, if you would want to say that. But what his concern is that he should get some treatment as early as possible to arrest whatever issue is going on, so as it does not hamper him for the rest of this game, and maybe more so for the rest of the tournament.
Yes, he's acting on the side of caution, definitely. So he has gone off. He's completed his 2 overs as well. And so even if he did not have intention of bowling consecutive overs, that particular problem perhaps prompted that. And here is the start of an over from the far end. This is over number 4. Chance for a run out, and the return is not a good one. A ball played down towards the fine leg position. Hesitation between the 2 batsmen after crossing for 1. And the man at this end almost got stranded. That's Graves. And so in fact, it was Elvin. And he's swinging the ball away high over the top. It has gone away for 6. So the first 6 of the innings, the first boundary of the school's innings, and that was very well played by Elvin. He heaved the ball away down towards cow corner for 6 runs.
Yes, very well played, and that ball was just gently tossed up, just about a middle and off stump, and the batsman went down and played the slug sweep very effectively over mid-wicket, getting the maximum.
Uri Smith is the bowler. He comes in, and here is the paddle sweep, but there's a fine leg in place, and they go quickly for the single. Bit of fumbling by the fielder at short fine leg as well. So it was comfortably taken, 19 for 1 in the course of over number 4. So the second match tonight, it will be Jennings against Rising Sun Spartans. It's a big match because both are in contention for semi-final place. Here is a quick single taken, good running between the 2, just turning the ball gently into the onside and setting off right away for the 20th run of the innings. 20 for 1, 2 balls left in over number 4. So here is Uri Smith. He's bowling off spin, and the ball is tugged away towards forward square leg, and they go for a single as the fielder comes around from the square leg position. And so the score has gone on to 21 for 1 in over number 4. Last ball coming up from Uri Smith. He'll bowl to Graves, and Graves is driving down the ground away towards the long off area to retain the strike. 22 now for 1. We have had 4 overs completed. Graves is on 9 and Elvin on 10.
Yes, another good over, a better over this time for the combined schools team. However, I noted earlier you said that the next game would be a big game. But I would say this, if the PICB Bertha Blackhawks win this game, then the 2 playoff positions for the next round would have been sealed. And then it means that the PICB Bertha Blackhawks would have ended the zone on 12 points, not so?
But then Jennings can also
Jennings can reach 12 as well. All three
They
teams.
They have won 2 games?
All three teams can reach 12.
Okay.
That's why that's why it's a big game, that final game. It will decide the qualifiers. At the end of tonight, the qualifiers from zone 1 would be decided at the end of the night, with Jennings playing against Rising Sun. So we just look at the score. We just look at the points table again. As the action continues, the bowler breaks his run, 22 for 1. And the bowler is James. James operating from the commentary box in. So we're watching James. He starts and he's on his way. Goes past the umpire. And this is stayed nicely away. Down to third man. Only a single. As the fielder comes off the boundary. Releases early. And the combined schools, they pick up their 23rd run. 23 for 1 at the start of the 5th.
Yes, just a gentle nudge towards the onside, realizing there was no danger in that shot and picking up the single.
This is not Kofi James. This is the other James. He's what? Miranda? Meandre James. He's bowling medium pace. He's in. And the ball is coming off the edge and going down to find third man. It will be saved, and they'll get only 1. Perhaps not enough aggression in the running between the two. Had they really pushed for it, perhaps there would have been a second. But the man running to the non-striker's end was rather nonchalant. And so they got only 1. 24 for 1. We're in the 5th over. Meandre James is on his way to bowl to Graves. And Graves is hitting this one airily down towards the long on area. It falls well short of the fielder. Not getting the timing. I thought he was looking for maybe a maximum, but not getting the timing into the stroke, and it fell just beyond the 30-yard circle.
Yes, certainly wanting to push on with the score, but I don't think he got the timing that he wanted on that shot, and so basically just ballooned in the air.
Meandre James is in, and this is a chance, and he's caught. That looks to be Kofi James taking the catch at that extra cover position. He was again looking for runs, looking to hit the ball over the top, mistiming it, and the ball skied towards the extra cover position, and Kofi James took a good running catch, having to run back and a few paces away to his left as well, and he clutched it. And so combined schools have lost their second wicket. They're 25 for 2.
Yes, very well judged catch there by Kofi James, and he has been very active this evening. Taking the first wicket, caught on bowl, and then remember a very brilliant stop there in the point region where he almost effected a run out, and now taking this catch off of the bowling of Meandre James. So he's been very much involved in the proceedings. We don't know if that will transfer also into when he goes out to bat. You know, he bats very early for the PIC Liberty Blackhawks. So very good game so far for Kofi James, and a very good dismissal for the PIC Liberty Blackhawks as they look to wrap up this, well, I shouldn't say wrap up, but they look to put themselves in a position of advantage in this particular match.
Yeah, so we may have a situation at the end of the day where 3 teams finish, at the end of the night tonight, 3 teams finish on 12 points. If Jennings were to beat Rising Sun, that's the game coming up at 7:30. And if PIC Liberty were to win this match, and they're odds-on favorites, they have players who are exceedingly better than the combined schools team. And combined schools, they have not won a match as yet in the competition, and chances are that they will finish without a win. So PIC Liberty are favorites to win, and should they do that, they'll go to 12. And if Jennings were to lose to Rising Sun, it would be Jennings and Liberty automatically. Ball is cut away down to third man, and they'll get a single for it. And this is over number 5 still in progress. The score has inched on with that single to 26 for 2.
Yes, 26 for 2 in an ordinary 50-over game, or even maybe a league game. That would be, you know, good scoring by the team. But this is 10-over cricket, and so they would need to speed up the scoring more or less to give themselves some sort of a challenging score that they can defend against this very strong, very productive, very dominant PIC Liberta Blackhawks team.
Yeah, we're almost there at the halfway stage. Here is Meandre James outside the line of the off stump. The batsman doesn't offer, and it's taken by the wicketkeeper. That completes over number 5. So we've had 5 overs completed. Combined Schools batting against PIC Liberta Blackhawks. They're 26 for 2, with Graves on 12, and Jacobs yet to score. More from Vincey Boyne, and then it will be then more Roberts.
Yes, again, another steady over. Meandre James has been quite steady throughout the tournament. Medium pacer, but very good for the PIC Liberta Blackhawks, coming in at crucial stages in some of the matches, and has been, not only has he been very good in terms of run scoring, but he also has been fairly decent in effecting breakthroughs whenever needed, whenever necessary for the PIC Liberta Blackhawks.
So over number 6 is about to begin, and it's from the southern end as we watch as the bowler starts and then stops. We'll wait to see who the bowler in. There's just still some adjustments being made to the field. The man down at third man coming into the circle. It's a left-handed bowler. It looks to be Justin, as here is an attempt at the stumps. So Justin Roberts, the scorer says, is the bowler who is bowling. Left arm medium pace from the southern end. Justin Robinson. Correction. I'm Roberts. He's Robinson. As Justin Robinson. I was wondering for a moment there if he's related to me, Jack. I was going to say I don't have a son named Justin just as yet. But Robinson, young medium pace bowler, getting his opportunity this evening for the PIC Blackhawks. And he would want to make sure that he takes the opportunity. Kofi James just having a little bit of a struggle with his field placements because he's calling up and sending back. And here is a delivery. The batsman is swinging and missing at a delivery just on about the off stump. He was looking to punch that delivery away. No run. So the total remains on.
And Justin
27 for 2.
Justin is out there as a bowling sub, actually.
Robinson hits hits this one in the air, and the catch is taken down at mid-wicket. He was looking to go for glory, the batsman in Jacobs, and he held out to the man at mid-wicket. The third wicket goes down for Combined Schools. They are now 27 for 3.
Yes, and Robinson, who is actually the bowling sub, that delivery apparently may have slowed it up a bit. So the batsman was not able to get full purchase on his swing. And so he still intended to go through with his shot, played it in the air, and the fielder down on the deep mid-wicket boundary was able to effect a very simple catch. Looks like it's Yuri Smith.
Smith was very comfortable, just waited for the ball to come to him, gathered it both hands, just about chest high or so, or maybe just about in the midriff region, and he took a smart catch, and that was the end of Jacobs, and the third wicket has gone down for Combined Schools. Looks to be another left-handed batsman that has come in, and it looks to be Pollard, the captain, the man that well, as a matter of fact, he takes right hand. He thought he was going to take a left-hand guard. He takes it. They actually crossed as they crossed as the ball was in the air. So it's going to be Graves on strike, facing up to Justin Robinson, and he's cutting this one square of the wicket. He's going to get 2 as the fielder having to do a lot of work around from mid-wicket out to a point position. So 2 more to the total. The fielder at point, I thought that he might have gotten a little too close there. So the ball was past him much too quickly. I think the captain would want him to be on or about the circle and then moving from there. He got very short just now, and the ball was able to beat him. Robinson again, and this time they're looking to steal a single down to the fine leg position. Looks to be Greenaway who is there doing the fielding, and 1 more to the total. So 30 for 3 in over number 6. 1 delivery to go in over number 6. So combined schools trying to build a total here against the PIC Blackhawks. This delivery is struck away out into the offside field. They're going to get a run as the fielder who is standing at short extra cover couldn't cut it off, and the ball ran out to the long off region for a run. 31 for 3 at the end of over number 6.
Yes, a good start there by the young fast bowler Justin Robinson. Seems to, even though he's a medium pace bowler, seems to mix it up a bit. Some, pushing through a couple of slow deliveries, bowling with some variety, which keep the batsman, or has kept the batsman in check. And so a very good start. Only 5 runs from that over. So keeping the combined schools batsmen in check and ensuring that they would have a very good total to chase.
So it's going to be a new over. Looks to be James that's going to continue. Meandre James is in. And this delivery, there's a loud appeal. Not out, says the umpire. Shake of a head late on. Is that Melissa Laurie who's umpiring? Keller Joseph, we understand. I think Keller Joseph is a teacher by trade, if my memory serves me right. And she had a good look at it and then gave a shake of the head. She looks a lot like Melissa Laurie.
A very good delivery there by the young.
But it was a good delivery by James. It was on or about the off stump and leaving the right-handed batsman. He's in again, and this is a short pitch delivery. The batsman having to rock back, was looking to cut and then rocking back and allowing it to go into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. And there's no run. That's Pollard, 31 for 3. It continues. So 35 for 1, signal of no ball. And this is a free hit that is hit hard out into the offside field. And the batsmen only get a single. So 1 more to the total, 36 for 3. 36 for 3. And
I did see that signal from the umpire, but it was a sort of unusual way of signaling no ball.
She would have to really sort that out. She's a young umpire, and so will still be working on her craft. She's going to have to really get that no ball signal distinct. I know that the folks who are assessing her will speak to her about that. And I didn't like the free hit signal as well. She sort of just did a little twirly thing up in the air. She needs to really get the arm moving around her head to give us the indication of the free hit. Ball is driven out to mid-off, caught. Straight to the field at the mid-off position, and the catch is taken. That's the end of Graves, and Combined Schools losing another wicket. They are now 36 for 3 in over number 7.
Yes, another soft dismissal there. Just a gentle catch there for the mid-off fielder. The ball played away into the air, and it just took its time as it got to the fielder, who effected a regulation catch, ensuring that the dismissal was complete. I noticed that the PIC Liberta team has quite a bit of bowling out there. Javier Spencer, I think he's in the final 11. He hasn't bowled a delivery for the evening yet. So I think the team might be giving the opportunity to youngsters who would not have played as often to get an opportunity to bowl and to, feel a part of the team this evening.
Certainly, that could be the plan. I'm not certain. I know that Meandre James has been one of the better bowlers for the PIC Blackhawks in this tournament. He has been pretty effective. Justin Robinson is the first time I'm seeing him in this tournament. So he's one that's getting an opportunity. And I'm sure that there are others who might be fancying an opportunity in the last 3 overs. We will see what the plan is from the PIC Blackhawks.
Who knows, maybe the captain might be giving Javier an opportunity to bowl at the death and see how, as a practice leading into the playoff stage.
We watch as here is this delivery coming off the inner portion of the bat, going out to backward of square. They want the second and they get it too. The fielder coming in was pretty slow, not very quick, and took a time to pick the ball up and then have a left-handed throw. It was almost casual, and the batsman, even though hesitating, could come back for 2 runs. So 2 more to the total, 2 more to the combined schools team, and it is now 36, or is it 38?
36.
Should be. It's now, it says 36
Well,
for
it
38,
should be
correction,
38.
38 for 4. As soon as I looked again, the scoreboard flashed over and make it 38 for 4 at the end of over number 7.
Yes, and James would have completed a very good 2-over spell in the context of the game. 11 runs, 2 wickets. So he has continued his effectiveness as he has been throughout the tournament.
Robinson continues. Ball is hit away in the air. Fielders charging in, trying to get onto the end of it. That looks to be Spencer. And his batsman able to come through for a run. One of the things that people like Spencer and others have to work on is their athleticism in the field. They sort of sometimes appear to be very heavy-legged. Robinson will try once more, and the batsman is trying to work this one on the onside. Signal of wide by the umpire. I thought it might have gone into the pads of the batsman, but it seemingly clearly missed it and went into the pads of the wicketkeeper. So 4 more runs to the total, and the total is on now to 43 for 4. So extras playing a part here. 10 extras so far. Robinson is in and he's bowling. The batsman was looking to drive the ball away in the batsman in O'Neill, and he missed it completely and he was bowled.
Yes, I don't know what happened there because he was playing fairly straight. He must have played down the wrong line or played over the delivery, or there was some measure of deviation on that delivery. We could not see because we were off-sighted by both the keeper and the batsman. But whatever it was, missed completely, and his off-stump was knocked completely out of the ground. Bowlers like to see that when the off-stump goes completely out of the ground.
Antigua Barbuda Football Association, if the Cricket Association don't mind me saying, they're on a recruitment drive as well for young referees. And it's good when we see young officials coming through. We've seen Melissa Laurie, we see Keller Joseph, we saw some others coming over from the softball version into the harder ball version of the game, and always in need of officials. We have young Shekels and others who are plying their trade. I think Shekels has done and passed his exams as well. And
what I would say is very encouraging to see younger folk getting into the officiating aspect of the game, because if you cannot make a career as a professional player, you can make a career out of being a professional officiator, whether it's as a scorer, umpire, match official, whatever the case may be. There are opportunities there for everyone.
So, just some adjustments in the field for the PIC Blackhawks. They just seem not to be very assured in terms of their field placement. They take quite a long time. As a matter of fact, the overrate is quite slow because they take so much time to try and get the fielders placed. The fielders need to concentrate a lot more. They're out there, and to me, it's a lot of time wasting going on. Here is the opportunity for a run out, and he is safe.
Yes, I think there was a bit of time taken there by the fielder to guard himself and get the throw in. And then secondly, the ball was thrown too high, so the bowler had to jump, guard himself, and then hit the stumps. But that is extra time given to the batsman to make his ground.
Poor cricket by the PIC Blackhawks on that occasion, because the batman was literally stranded down at the other end. And instead of really getting a good throw to run him out, it was a poor throw that was above the head of the bowler, and he had to gather it and then try to. Here is a stumping opportunity, and he's given by Keller Joseph. So the batsman was jumping down, trying to swing this one away, missed it. The bails were off in a flash by the wicketkeeper, and that was good work on that occasion. Just when we were saying that it was poor work by PIC, the delivery before with the run out, now we see some good work by the wicketkeeper with the stumping.
Well, I would tell you this much, Denmore. That glove work was so quick, I thought the batsman was bowled. But then when I saw that the umpire at square leg was giving the decision, I realized that it was not a bold decision, but more a stumping decision. Very smart cricket there by the wicketkeeper, Joshua Thomas. It's a young man that I think has a lot of potential. He's a very positive-minded batsman and also decent wicketkeeper. I still think he needs to do some more work with his glove work, but still a potentially good prospect.
Very good prospect in Joshua Thomas. He has to do a lot of work on his batting too.
I agree. Yes.
Does not always produce, and so. This PIC Liberty Blackhawks, I know we speak of them as dominant. I heard you use some terms earlier in the commentary, dominant, but it's not the same Blackhawks. This is a rebuilding team, and I think that they've done well under the circumstances, because it's a lot of young people with little or no experience at this stage, apart from maybe Kofi, James Karima-Gore, and maybe even Avia Christian and Yuri Smith. Nobody else really in this side is around. We have some youngsters, some teenagers who are trying to get a foothold in the cricket, and they will need to continue to work on their game as well.
Well, dominant was more based on their past performances over the past 10 or so years. They still have to produce.
And I understand. It's the same way people now judge Manchester United based on their past performances and expect that they're going to win, and they're not the same team. The end of the over has come up at the end of over number 8. The total has moved on to 44 for 6. 44 for 6. Francis is on 1, and Coffee yet to score.
Yes, a steady 5.5 runs per over, but in this format of the game, 5.5 runs per over is not going to be enough really to effect a victory. It would need a miraculous bowling performance by the combined school team really to effect a victory in this game.
But we've seen the combined school team bowl well in this tournament, and they've fielded well. So I don't think that the PIC Blackhawks can take anything for granted. They would want to tighten the screws and make sure that they finish well, limiting the combined schools to about 60 or so, maybe no more than that. and try and see how they can, overhaul that total. So I don't think that the game is over by any stretch of the imagination. We've seen in this tournament small scores give teams trouble. So again, and just as I was saying, the PIC just taking a while to start the new over. Again, Kofi James just not assured as to where he wanted his player. He had a player at forward square and then he moved him up to a short mid-on. He's just taking his time about it. We see him now moving players again all over the field. The players don't seem to know where they are supposed to go.
Yeah, I think the field placing has a bit to do with the players themselves more so than the captain. And so
this delivery, again, the batsman and they're getting a single as the ball is played away on the onside. James just opening his arms, just asking for the keeper to calm down, not to throw it away. Especially at this stage where every run counts. He's going around the wicket to the left-handed batsman. And the batsman is punching this one back along the pitch for the Kofi James to field his own bowling. No run. 48-4-6 is the total. James just walks in once more. And here is a loud appeal and wide called by the umpire. There was an appeal by the PIC Blackhawks players, and the umpire called wide. So clearly they thought that he edged it, and the umpire thought that it was wide. So the 50 has come up for the combined schools. They are 50-6 in the 9th over of the game. Again, the batsman is punching to a delivery tossed up to him by Kofi James. And the score remains on 50-4 in over number 9. One delivery to come. James is in. And the batsman is undriving hard out to the long on region. Gets a single. And that should be it for the over. At the end of over number 9. 51-6. The total has moved on to Francis is on 3 and Coffee on 1.
yes, and in that over, again, the PIC Liberta Blackhawks were appealing for caught behind, and the umpire elected to signal wide, but very ambiguous signal in there because she just kind of had her arms outstretched over her head and then they dropped to her side, and then only when she turned around to signal to the scorers that we recognized that she was actually signaling wide. I think she has to do a bit of work on her signaling.
The idea that ran into her head just now,
yes, and then
she heard call and signal.
Yes, and then
son would say to her call and signal. And
not only that, but after I saw her put her hand up above her head as if to signal free hit, she has to be very clear on what she's doing out there. Free hit only comes after a no ball.
I'm not going to trash her at all.
No, I'm not trashing her. I'm just saying I'm ambiguous.
Point it out, but there are things that she has to work on. And hey, first I'm seeing her, so she has some issues and some things to work on. Here is the last over being bowled by Spencer. The first delivery is played away back on along the pitch. No run. 51-6. The total by combined schools. So PIC Blackhawks would want to limit them to not much more than 60 possibly. Javier Spencer would want to bowl a good over. This delivery is driving and missing. A delivery outside the line of the off stump. So 2 dot deliveries to start the over.
Yes, and
just having a look here to see what my person for the stream is up to.
Here's a young man who had quite a bit of promise a few years ago. We have not really seen him progress as that promise would have shown.
Here is this delivery. The batsman is getting the square of the wicket. Tumbling over is the fielder. Looks to be, is that Brent Joseph standing at that point position? Should have done a lot better. The ball going past him. Or is that Wilden Cornwall? Looks to be Wilden Cornwall Jr. at that point position. The ball going past him, and the batsmen were able to come back for 2 runs. Had promise, or still has promise. I think he's a victim of the system. And I'll tell you why I say that. Here is the delivery being driven. This time, looks as if it's Brent Joseph this time. I was mistaken Wilden Cornwall Jr. for him. And there was no run.
Yes,
He
it's actually a no ball. Actually a no ball, so he has given up 4 free runs there.
And again, the ill discipline continues. Coach for the day, Kenny Benjamin, must be seething out there. Here is this, the free hit is driven out to the mid-off region. They get a run. He was picked up by Guyana Amazon Warriors. I think they were called
not the Jaguars.
The Guyana Jaguars, yes. In the draft, taken down to Guyana for a holiday because he wasn't played in anything, and the stories that come back from Guyana is a horror story that he was just down there sitting down, not really been given any real notice, any treatment, no real coaching by the coaches and so on, and that is because the system said you had to pick an under 19, and so Guyana did. The system didn't say you have to play the under 19 that you picked, so they didn't play him. So this delivery struck away into the offside field. They're going to get another run, the 58th run of the innings, or the 59th run of the inning, 59 for 6 with 1 delivery to go. So Spencer would be upset with that no ball, delivering that no ball, especially at this time. And so combined schools will have 60 to 60 plus to probably work with. The last delivery, the batsman is looking to go through, and the stumps are broken, and it looks as if the run was complete. Keller Joseph not interested in the appeal of the wicketkeeper for the PIC Insurance Blackhawks. That ends the innings. So the innings ends on 60 for 6. Francis is on 7 and Coffee is on 2, 60 for 6. That last delivery must have been a bye. Do you get a signal from the umpire?
No, actually I didn't.
And if you didn't get a signal, because the keeper took the ball cleanly, so if there was no signal, it should be out.
Yep.
But the batsman came through for what I believe should
I'm
have
not
been,
saying there wasn't one. I just
should have been a bye.
Yeah.
We didn't see it, and so the end of the innings anyway, 60 for 6 combined scores.
Yes, just to touch on that situation that you spoke about with Javier Spencer, there should be some measure of evaluation that these players, some evaluation form that they fill out to, assess how these players are being treated, because there's no need or there's no reason that they should be.
The system needs to change.
Yes.
The system needs to change.
I mean,
fully.
if you're gonna draft a player, he must be put in a system.
Foolishness in the Caribbean about picking an under 19 player just for the sake of picking him. If you're going to have a rule about picking under 19 players, you must say that the under 19 player must play to get experience.
And not only that, but they must go. The coaching must also bring him along.
Just like what we see happening, they pick them, they don't play them, they just pick them because you have to. It is nonsense. And the whole system in the Caribbean, the way that we do the 40 system, is the main reason why we do so badly when we get to the test level. Because everybody is being insular, everybody pick the people that they know, we're not picking the best people, and we're finding ways to beat the system. And Javier Spencer is a prime example of what is wrong with Caribbean cricket.
Well, as I said, not only that they should have a system in place properly, but if you're going to do that, coaching must also pay attention to everyone, not just the people that they want to focus on. Every single person.
I agree with you fully. 60 for 6, let me just give you the scorecard. Walsh made 1, Elvin made 11, Graves 16, Jacobs not, Pollard 3, O'Neill 3, Francis was not out on 7, Coffee not out on 2, extras were 18, 60 for 6, bowling, Kareem Agor had 2 overs for 6 runs. Kofi James had 2 overs for 10 runs. He had a wicket. Yuri Smith, 1 over for 11 runs. Meandra James, 2 overs for 11 runs. Justin Robinson's 2 over cost him 11 runs. He had 3 wickets. And Javier Spencer, his 1 over cost him 9 runs. So PIC Insurance Blackhawks will need 61 for victory of their 10 overs when we return. We'll take a short break and we'll return with the response of PIC Insurance Blackhawks to the combined scores 60 for 6.
Welcome back to coverage of this crucial match in the ABCA 10 splash at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Liberta Blackhawks, sponsored by PIC, they need 61 to win the match. And they're opening the innings with the captain, Kofi James, and Avia Christian. And these two obviously will be trying to improve on the net run rate, because that may well come into play, because the next match will be Jennings against Rising Sun Spartans. A win for Jennings would leave all the teams on 12 points, assuming that Liberta were to go on and win this game against Combined Schools that is about to resume. Combined Schools having struggled to 60 for 6 of their 10 overs, with no one really making anything of substance. 16 was the top score. It came from the bat of Graves. So we're watching the first ball, and it is driven into the offside. A beautiful shot by Kofi James down towards the wide long off area, and the return hits the stumps, deflects away. It was a very accurate return coming in, and it hit the middle stump. But they were not able to get an overthrow, so they won for no wicket. Vinci?
Yes, Jack, accuracy is relative. Was he throwing the ball to hit the stump, or he was throwing it back to the bowler? You said accurate throw, but I always say accurate is relative.
Yes, because in that case, it could have brought runs for the batting side. And really, you should be trying to get the ball into the hands of the bowler, because they weren't going for a second. So the second ball is slashed at by Avia Christian outside the line of the off stump. He misses. The signal of wide comes from the umpire. So umpire Kayla Joseph. Keller or Keller? I thought I heard Kayla. So that's what I wrote.
Yeah, I think that was quite harsh on the bowler to give a wide there. I think that was well within that guideline, and signaling wide, I think, gave away 4 easy runs to the PIC Liberta Blackhawks.
So Francis is in outside the line of the off stump. Again, the batsman is undone by that delivery. Score 5 for no wicket with that wide being called. 4 added to the score. The PIC Liberta Blackhawks.
Yes, Jack, and when it comes to the wide call and the no ball, you have to be very on point with those calls, because when you make that call, it's not like in the regular game where you get 1 run. It's 4 runs being given away, and you don't just want to give away 4 runs willy-nilly.
Francis is in. This is massively hit. Beautiful stroke by Avia Christian, 6 runs. Well, he held his shape and hit that one beautifully. He hit it on the up. And the ball went sailing away over the long on boundary for 6. An authoritative stroke by Avia Christian. The score's raced on to 11 for no wicket in the first over.
Yes, just getting to the pitch of that ball and just helping it on its way. It wasn't no big bat flourish. Wasn't no as some batsmen would want to play with any big flourish. He just got to the pitch of it, got very good timing on it, and played it away over long on. And I tell you what, Jack. Sometimes when an umpire calls a wide on a bowler, it tends to mess up his rhythm and tends to mess up what he wants to do. And as I said, you have to be very careful with those calls, because you don't want to give teams runs that they didn't deserve.
Indeed. Francis started and had to curtail his run because the batsman was not ready. He is now. Avia Christian, right-hander, faces the bowling of Francis, and he's driving, steering it nicely down towards the backward point position. The short third man is giving chase, and they scurry back for the second. Good running, good stroke. An attractive looking stroke by Avia Christian, coming onto the front foot and opening the face of the bat and timing it well and finding the placement. It's now 13 for no wicket, and Christian is on to 8.
Yes, very good shot indeed. Just playing with getting to the pitch of the ball and just getting away into the gap, ensuring that they got those 2 comfortable runs, and sensible batting also on the part of Avia Christian.
Francis with the final ball of the first over, pushed into the offside. They go for the run. Good cricket by PIC Liberta Blackhawks. And off the first over, they got 14 runs. They need 61 to win. So this is very, very healthy for their net run rate. and precisely what the doctor ordered as far as PIC Liberta are concerned. Just going back to the scorecard for the schools team, bowling for Liberta, Karima Gore had 2 overs, again consistent in terms of containing the batsmen, none for 6. But worryingly, from a Liberta perspective, he limped off because of a suspected pulled hamstring, right hamstring. So he left after completing his second over. Kofi James, 1 for 10 from 2. The most successful bowler being Robinson. He had 2 overs and picked up 3 for 11. And Meandre James had 2 for 11 from his 2.
Yes, a fairly good bowling performance by the PIC Liberta Blackhawks, but they would want to capitalize on what they did on the fielding side of things now that they are batting to ensure that they secure the victory in the game. So far, they've started well. Avia Christian looking quite good this evening. Saw him play a very nice looking stroke over long on for 6, and then a well-played square drive beating the short third man on point, picking up an extra 2 runs, batting sensibly so far and looking good in the middle.
And it will be Christian who will be on strike. He's on 9, 1 to Kofi James, 14 for no wicket. About to see the start of the second over. It will be Watley bowling from the far end. Yannick Watley, and it's outside the line of the off stump. And fullish of length, looked to be a low full toss, and the batsman played and missed. Christian perhaps looked inquiringly at the umpire Michael Lowry, but he stands erect with hands together in front of him. I don't think that was close to a no ball, but Avia Christian missed it. He missed a full toss. Here's he getting one of Yorker length. Good delivery from Yannick Watley, and he comes down on it and just guides the ball down to the point position. He got a run for it. Perhaps Watley was named off Yannick Noah, the former French professional tennis player. He played in the 1980s.
Yes, and he's a son of another stalwart of cricket in the past, Pernell Watley, who was a very quick left-arm fast bowler who had quite a bit of promise. I believe if he was playing in the present day, he could have gone a lot further.
And yeah, he has a brother. They call him Hog Watley. Here is a ball which is outside the line of the off stump and cracked away down towards the point position. You pull back inside the boundary and they come back for the second. Kofi James getting on top of that one and finding the gap down to the backward point area for a couple of runs. The score is raced on to 17 for no wicket. He played parish league cricket, but he got the ball to wobble. His brother, he was a better bowler than Pernell. He was a better bowler, I'm telling you.
But I'll tell you this much, Yannick certainly doesn't have the pace that his father had.
No, his brother Hogg was a better bowler than Pernell Watley. This ball is hit away into the offside, and it's gone away for 4. And it has gone down towards the extra cover position. 4 runs there coming from the batter of Kofi James. He's on to 7, and the score is racing on. We're only in the second over, 21 for no wicket.
Yes, very well played shot there by Kofi. Played away in the air somewhat, but into the gap and beating not only the point and the extra cover fielder, but also the deep extra cover for 4 good-looking runs.
Here is Yannick Watley outside the off stump. The batsman is driving and missing. It was a good delivery. No ball. Well, certainly the length was there. The line was there. But he would have infringed the front foot rule. Yannick Watley perhaps striving for that extra pace and overstepping called by umpire Michael Lowry. So 4 runs added, 25 for no wicket.
Yes, 4 free runs added to 4 unnecessary free runs added to the PIC Liberta Blackhawks score, and they have raced up now to 25.
Watley is trying to bowl a slow ball, does bowl a slow ball, and the ball, did it hit the stump? Yes, it looked as if it hit, but it was no, it did not. It did not because
the ball hit Kofi on the body.
Yeah,
but then, this is something that I have a concern about. You are at 25 runs in the second over of the inning. what was the necessity for Kofi doing what he did just a while ago? Is it because it's a free hit? Okay. I guess it's a practice then. But still, you could stay in the shot and play according to, play according to merit instead of going for that extravagant swing and heave-ho. Sometimes those heaves can damage you,
So we've had 2 overs, 26 for no wicket. The target is 60. And PIC 61, correction. Yes, just reminded by our efficient scorer. Yeah, you know these scorers, Vinci, have an eye and an ear for every detail. And so they always keep us on our toes.
They should always have an eye for detail. But I see that the young Harilal is coming on to bowl. He has been very consistent, very good throughout the tournament. Based on what we've seen, it seems like he has a good future ahead of him. If he can continue in terms of his learning curve on an upward swing, I think it's one for the future. But we'll see what he'll do tonight as he takes the ball for the combined schools team. Yes,
Michael Harilal is a left-arm spinner. Always, certainly in this tournament, he has bowled around the wicket. Just bowls off a few paces. He's the son of Geetesh Harilal, who contrastingly has had a poor tournament. So maybe he'll have to consult his son right after the tournament to try and get it right. So here is Michael Harilal. And this is driven into the offside, goes away down to long off. Kofi James, the hitter, I think he was looking to get more of that one. Not quite getting the timing into the stroke. 27 for no wicket. And Kofi James is on to, I think, 8.
Yes, from the way Kofi was playing, he sort of overswung. His balance was not right. He would have been better served stepping out to that and maybe pushing a little wider.
Over number 3 in progress, and Kofi James is, the Avia Christian correction, is driving, and no timing into that stroke. Ball just going into the offside. Ball hit hard into the ground. So Michael Harilal, yes, he's continuing where he left off.
Yes, employing a very full length with some flight also.
So he's in. The ball gives him flight and he beats him. A ball which was well up to him, and the batsman, Avia Christian, turned it into a Yorker. He almost yorked himself. The ball went very, very close to that off stump.
Actually, it beat him between the pad and leg stump, so it actually missed the leg stump.
Wow. Here is the batsman, and he's misstumped. Avia Christian giving the bowler the charge, he missed it, and the wicket keeper is showing some disgust now after missing that, and the batsman able to scamper. I think it was a bye.
And again, we see young Harilal bowling very well. He has been given some problems so far in this over.
So Michael Harilal is in, and Kofi James is in trouble as he goes back and undone there by that particular delivery. That one seemed to have maybe a little bit more pace. It was the arm ball. Looked to be the arm ball. Right, so here is Michael Harilal, and James is driving, beaten. The ball has gone down to a fine leg position. The man short at that fine leg position runs back, and there is 2 runs. So he got a bit of inside edge onto that one. We have had now 3 overs completed, and the score's gone on to 30 for no wicket. So they're almost halfway there. The target is 61 to go on to 12 points in the competition and keep their qualifying hopes alive.
Yes, whatever it is that Harilal is doing, I believe because he's bowling from his northern end, he's getting a bit of drift, and the batsmen are being, the flight is causing that drift to be a little bit more pronounced. So what is happening, quite a number of times he's beaten the inside edge, they've almost yorked themselves, and this time Kofi driving at him got a bit of inside edge, which allowed the ball to miss the leg stump, picking up 2 fortuitous runs, but I think at this moment he would consider himself lucky not to have been bowled.
Yes, it was a very good over by Michael Harilal. The variation was certainly part of that over, and really troubled both batsmen, Avia Christian and Kofi James. We're going to have a change at the far end. Watley, who conceded 11 runs in his opening over, is out of the attack. And Harilal, incidentally, conceded only 4 runs in his opening over. So, we're going to see the start of over number 4. And Avia Christian is dabbing at this ball. It goes away towards short and fine third man. And they go through for a run. So it's now 31 for no wicket at the start of the 4th over. Kofi James. Oh, Coffee. Coffee is the man bowling. And what's his first name? Pearson? Grayson Coffee. Grayson Coffee. He's the man in operation. And this ball is hit away into the onside, and it's missed by the man there at that mid-wicket position. Looked to have had a chance, and he made a spirited effort. Made a dive, but it turned out to be a despairing one because the ball eluded him and has gone away for 4 runs. So 35 for no wicket as the PIC Liberta run machine continues to produce runs here.
Yes, swung away by Kofi. I was not too happy with what I saw with that shot. He took it from way outside off stump, swung it across the line.
Grayson Coffey is in, and here is Kofi James swinging at this ball, looking to play the slug sweep. Got the impression there, and the ball deflecting, and they scampered what was, did he signal leg by? Not sure. But there is a run to the total. The score is now 36 for no wicket. Here is Grayson Coffey, and the batsman is driving into the offside, goes out to looks as if it's Michael Harilal at the next recover position. He's carrying names of 2 Windward Islands players, one who played way back, Vincey Boyne. I don't know if you Grayson Shillingford, yes, you know of Grayson Shillingford. And of course, Cameron Coffey, Vincentian and West Indies fast bowler. Ball is hit away down to the backward square position, and they managed to get a couple of runs. The score 38 for no wicket. Every time I remember Cameron Coffey, I remember that infamous West Indies defeat by Kenya in the World Cup, 1996 World Cup, when they were beaten by Kenya. Remember that? Coffey was very much part of that West Indies team, and I think he was the last man dismissed. This ball is up to the right-handed Avia Christian. He digs it out. So
bowled him.
He has bowled him? He has been bowled?
Yes.
Yes, he has been bowled.
Yorker and delivery, tried to dig it out, but the ball beat him all ends up and cannoned into his middle stump, it looks.
Yes, the tails came
and
off.
so he is off the field, or actually heading off the field.
Yes. What happened? The ball hit the base of the stumps, only the bails came off. And so the stumps were very much erect. And we're looking at the play from a distance, and we're behind some thick glass here as well. So our vision is not of the best.
Not only that, but there are quite a number of things. There was a lack of enthusiasm from the fielding team with that dismissal. So a lot of things, we were a bit unsure as to what was happening out in the middle. But as we saw Avia walking off the field, we realized that he was actually dismissed, bowled by the bowler, Grayson Coffey.
And Liberta are going to go on to win this match, but they would have to do some waiting because we know that the net run rate could come into play later on. Risings are very much on a high, so they will come into the final match looking to complete a clean sweep of their zone fixtures. And Jennings have all to play for because they must win the match to have a chance of qualifying for the semi-finals. And if Jennings were to win, all 3 teams would finish on 12 points. And there's where the net run rate would come into play. Here is a ball driven by Kofi James down the ground. The long off runs around, and the batsmen cross for 139 now for 1, and we're seeing the start of over number 5.
Yes, another delivery, full-length delivery there from young Harilal that Kofi drove out into the offside, beating the bowler actually, and getting a single.
So coming into this match, Rising Sun had the better net run rate. Kofi, correction, the new batsman is playing. That's Amal Nathaniel. He gets a run, or is it just a leg by? He gets a run. Ball coming off the bat. Yes. So Rising Sun Spartans had a net run rate, and still do, of 2.424. Kofi James is launching himself into this drive, and he's dropped. And to add insult to injury, the ball has gone for 4. It was a catch to the fielder at long on. Is that Michael Harilal? No, it's not Michael Harilal, but he got there. He went low to him. Had to move around to his right. And the ball hit both hands and not being able. Michael Graves was the culprit, not being able to hold on. And agonizingly, for combined schools, the ball went behind him and over the rope for 4.
Yes, a bad miss there by the fielder, but I think Harilal will consider himself quite unlucky, unfortunate not to have picked up the wicket of Kofi. And I don't think there's a need for, if you're not to the pitch of the ball, just work the ball around and get singles. You're well ahead of the run rate, and you do not want to give your wicket away.
And Liberta Blackhawks came into this match with a net run rate of 1.506. Here is a ball driven into the offside, down to the long off area by Kofi James. He adds to his score. He goes on with that single to 20, and the score now 45 for 1. We are into the 5th over of the innings. The target is just 61. And Jennings, their net run rate is 1.321. Outside the off stump, and the batsman Amal Nathaniel plays and misses.
Yeah, for a moment I thought he played it away, but then when I looked, no one in the outfield was moving, and I realized they weren't advancing between the wickets neither.
So the last ball over number 5 coming up. Gitesh Michael Harilal is the man, has conceded just 11 runs so far. He will end with only a concession of 11 runs because it's defensively played by Nathaniel. So at the end of 5 overs, PIC Liberta Blackhawks are heading to victory. They need 61 to win. They're 45 for 1. We'll have more from Vincey Boyne, and then to take it to the end, it will be Denbo Roberts.
Yes, and he, obviously, his 2 overs, yes, it has that he conceded 11 runs. It could have easily been 7 runs and 2 wickets had that catch been taken on the long on boundary. However, we have to comment on what is actual and not what could have been.
He also had a mis-stumping of ABCA Christian as well. So he has been the bowler that has given the PIC Blackhawks some trouble. Harilal, his 2 overs going for 11 runs, and in the context of the game, that's very good bowling. Over number 6 starts, and James is hitting this one hard over the square leg region, 6 runs.
Yes, he saw him go down on bended knee, picking that one up off of a leg stump line and swinging it away over the backward square leg position. 6 good looking runs there for Kofi.
So he got good contact on that one, and the fielders only went to retrieve, and the score goes on to 51 for 1, that wicket being of ABCA Christian. So Coffee is continuing, and this delivery is played back up the track. Amal Nathaniel was exploring the possibility of a run. That would have been suicide, not on. So 10 to win for the PIC Blackhawks. And they would want to get there quickly, because the quicker they get there, the better their net run rate. And James is hitting this one hard over the top of the fielder at that long off position. The ball was coming towards him. It went straight at the fielder. He put his hand up, but really the ball cleared him. And 6 runs signaled by umpire Laurie. He's probably just checking. He had signaled 6, and 57 it is for 1.
Yes, and I think Kofi benefited there from the aggressive nature of the fielder coming in, because had he been a little bit further back, that ball probably would have gotten to him chest height or maybe even into his midriff.
Maybe he was coming in and the ball cleared him. This is James hitting this one straight up in the air, and he's going to be safe as the ball goes straight up into the air, and it fell behind, almost directly behind the wicketkeeper. There was a short third man and a short fine leg, and it fell between both of them, and James survives, and he's lucky to still be there, because that one had some air on it, and the total has gone on to 59 for 2. So 2 runs needed for victory, and Kofi James is again swinging. The ball is in the air and dropped by the fielder at that short mid-on region, and they're going for the run, and he's run out. Amal Nathaniel trying to come back for the run with the ball right there. Don't know what he was thinking about, because with 1 run needed, there was no need for him to go back, and PIC Blackhawks losing their second wicket. They're now 60 for 2.
Yes, 60 for 2. And again, I don't know, maybe Kofi is trying to finish this game quickly. Maybe he's trying to up their net run rate. I think the way he's playing, some of them might, I don't know what the plan is, but I think he could be approaching this victory a little differently. However, he's still there. The score is tied at 60. Or, yes, it was 59 before.
Yeah, it was 59.
And they attempted a second run, right? So they got 1 run. So
the score should be
60. Then have lost their second wicket, and that one being run out again, suicidal.
So it changes now. 60 for 2. Kofi's on 35, and Joshua Thomas is named as the batsman coming in. Kofi James and PIC Insurance Liberta Blackhawks just needing 1 run for victory, and really Amal Nathaniel did not need to try and go for that extra run. They just stay and get the 1 run needed. So Kofi's in, and Kofi James is driving up on the onside and should get the winning run, and that's all they will have. That should be the match there. We see Kofi James heading back. Joshua Thomas doesn't seem to know what is going on. That looks to actually be, almost looks as if it's Brent Joseph who would come out, or is it Thomas? Well, the scoreboard says Joshua Thomas, who has come out, but the match has ended. PIC Liberta Blackhawks winning by 8 wickets with some 4 overs to go, and that would significantly improve their net run rate. But Kofi James, the way that he's walking off, it looks as if he's a little bit disappointed with the way that they ended. But 61 for 2 in 6 overs would really be a good victory for them and improve their net run rate considerably.
Certainly, it would improve their net run rate, and they really want to put themselves into a comfortable position that if the next game the Jennings team were to gain a victory over the Rising Sun Spartans, they want to be in a position where they would advance to the next stage or the playoff round stage of the tournament. However, the PIC Liberta Blackhawks would have, again, a comfortable win tonight. Still a little scrappy in the batting department, but a comfortable win nonetheless. And they would be looking to improve on their preliminary round performances and go into the playoff stage with a more organized cricket game overall.
So, Christian made 14. He was bowled by Kofi James 36. Nathaniel was run out for 1, and Thomas was not out on naught. PIC Insurance Liberta Blackhawks 61 for 2. Francis 1 over for 14 runs. Watley 1 over for 11. Harrilal 2 overs for 11 runs, and Kofi 2 overs for 23. He got the only wicket. We'll be back at 7:30 p.m. for another matchup between the Rising Sun Spartans and Jennings. And Rising Sun and Jennings will clash in that next encounter starting at 7:30. So until then, it's goodbye. Welcome back to coverage of the ABCA T10 Splash. Rising Sun Spartans winning the toss and in the field, and the first delivery is struck away from Kadeem Phillip out to the fielder on that long on boundary, and the batsman are able to come back for a second after a juggle from the fielder out on that boundary line. So 2 to start for Jennings' team this evening. And they get another run as good cricket this from Orlando Peters, who's had a rich vein of form for the Jennings Cricket Club. And they were up against the Rising Sun Spartans this evening. And victory for Rising Sun will confirm them as unbeaten in the preliminary stages. And if Jennings were to come out victorious, it means that Rising Sun, PIC Blackhawks, and Jennings will all have 12 points, 12 points, and it will come down to net run rate. Kadeem Phillip is in, and this delivery, there's a loud appeal, and he's out caught behind. So that one turned away from Diari Francis, and he edged it, and the ball going into the gloves of the wicketkeeper, and the index finger was raised. Jennings losing their first wicket. They are 3 for 1.
Yes, and you could see that the Rising Sun Spartans certainly come out here not taking anything for granted, and they're playing with a bit of intensity. You could see it from the appeal there just a while ago, and the reaction after the umpire gave the dismissal in the favor of the Spartans. So they're certainly looking for a win. They certainly would believe that they have a good momentum going into the playoff rounds as they have won their first 3 games, and they're certainly looking for another win tonight.
They would want to remain unbeaten going into the playoffs, but I think that when you get into the playoff, it's a new tournament almost. Everybody plays against each other, so they all what you would have done in the preliminary will go away, and then you have 3 matches, and the team that winning the most matches in that round robin format will walk away with the championship. There is no grand finale of this tournament, and so the 4 teams that go into the playoff section will still have an opportunity to win the tournament. Kadeem Phillip continues to the new batsman, and the batsman is playing this one into the offside field. Paul Miller is the new batsman, and there is no run.
Yes, just pushing it away gently into the offside. Wants to ensure that he preserves his wicket, and he could play more or less a supporting role to Orlando Peters. The other night, you remember when Jennings played the PIC Liberta Blackhawks, that Orlando Peters almost single-handedly won the game for Jennings.
Almost. Here is a delivery. The Kadeem Phillip is appealing as that one. The batsman was playing it on the leg side, was trying to work it in the onside. The ball went into the pads of Miller. Excited appeal there from Kadeem Phillip. No, not out, says the umpire. And then he delivers a short of a length delivery outside the line of the off stump, but not punished. Should have been really smashed away. End of the first over. Jennings batting first. They are 3 for 1.
Yes, a poor start from the Jennings Cricket Club, but a very good one for the Rising Sun Spartans, only conceding 3 runs in their first over and also picking up a wicket in the process. So they'll be looking to capitalize on that positive start so far, whereas the Jennings team, they would certainly want to consolidate their position, try to take advantage of any loose bowling that may come their way, and also if the bowling is tight, pick up the 1s and the 2s until they're able to get their deliveries to score runs off of. As Denmore said, Orlando Peters is at the wicket still, and he has been having pretty good form, and if he's there, certainly the Jennings team will feel positive that they can put a good score on the board. Yes, a very good length delivery there. Peters trying to punch that one away into the offside was beating all ends up. And you could see that quick look back, almost as if to say, wow, wasn't sure what was happening there with that particular delivery.
So 2 runs, 3 runs on the board so far. 3 for 1. As this delivery, Peters is running it down to a short third man. Kadeem Phillip holds on to the ball, doesn't plug at the stumps, and allows the batsman to come through for the 4th run of the innings.
Yes, you see that the bowler there, Hodge, has been employing a steady outside the off-stump line. After beating Peters with his first 2 deliveries, Peters elected not to try and play the punch into the offside, but just come forward, get his bat on the ball first, feel the bat onto the ball before maybe he considers other stroke play.
Miller is driving at a delivery pitched up to him from Hodge. Can't score as it goes to Harilal, who is in that shot. That's Bruni. Yes, Bruni. The beefy character of Bruni in that short mid-on region. And there is no run. So, delivery is played square of the wicket, and they should be looking for 2, and they get it as well, as the fielder running back from that short point position had given up. That looks to be Dean Williams, and the fielder coming in off the boundary was a bit slow in moving, and the batsmen were able to come through for 2.
Yes, and I thought it was a bit of a hesitating start to that 2-run from the Jennings batsman.
Another delivery is played away into the onside by Miller. And Miller would have overran the crease, or was that Orlando Peters? That looks to be Miller, who would have overran the crease. But no damage done in the end, as the throw from Rising Sun was poor, but backed up on the onside. 7 for 1 at the end of over number 2.
Yes, a fairly decent over there from Hodge, employing a nice steady outside the off-stump line. The batsman electing only to try and get the 1s and the 2s. Only 4 runs resulting in that over. So a decent start by the Spartans team in terms of restricting the scoring so far. However, the Jennings team still have most of their resources intact, and they will be looking to push on at some point sooner than later.
So Bruni comes into attack. He's just making sure that his fielders are located where he wants them. He starts the 3rd over, and this delivery is played away square of the wicket, and they're going to get a run as it is not fielded cleanly by the fielder at point. So 1 more to the total. It's on to 8 for 1.
Yes, and the fielder would have gotten a nice bounce there. So that bit of misfield there, bubble, just releasing the pressure and giving the batsman an opportunity for a single.
Bruni is in, and driving at this one is Peters. The ball is fielded. Peters remains on 4. 8 for 1 in over number 3. So, good bowling so far from Rising Sun, and this delivery struck away out into the straightish mid-wicket region. Fielder comes in off the boundary, and the batsmen are able to cross for a single.
Yes, and the delivery before that, I think Peters missed out on a gift. It was a low full toss and did not get it away.
Again, a delivery struck hard up on the onside by Miller, and just a single.
Yes. So the batsmen are employing, they're basically getting the ones, the singles. So they're turning around, turning the strike around, but not with any great pace.
Rooney is in, and delivery played away on the offside, and they get the single in the end. Calling him through was Orlando Peters, and Rooney having to work to his left, and Kadeem Phillip, two beefy guys who were in that general location, couldn't stop the single, and the batsman get the 11th run of the innings.
Yes, very well calculated by the two batsmen.
And Miller is caught. He was backing away and looking to force this one through the offside. The ball was hit to Kadeem Phillip and looked as if it was going over his head. Jumped with both hands in the air, plucked it down. Good catch taken, 11 for 2. And Paul Miller, the captain, goes back to the pavilion 4-5.
Yes, and a very good catch there by Kadeem Phillip. Just jumping and plucking that one out of the air. He's been very active so far in this game, taking the first wicket and now being involved with the fall of the second wicket, taking that smart catch there. And so the Spartans certainly continuing their very good form of cricket so far in this tournament, taking 2 wickets so far and also only conceding 11 runs in their 3 overs bowled.
I think the pressure of the dot balls and the singles got to Miller. He was looking to force the issue and trying to cover Kadeem Phillip, and Phillip taking a smart catch above his head. And it brings out Elijah Peters to join Orlando Peters. And so the end of 3 overs, the total is 11 for 2. So it's a lot of work for Orlando Peters, for Jennings to do, as he has lost Diary Francis, who supported him in the last game. I think they got that 100 partnership. I think they got about 108 for the partnership. But Diary Francis going tonight without scoring, and then he's lost Captain Miller. So himself now and Elijah Peters will have to do the work. This delivery, Peters is striking it out to deep, extra cover on the boundary. Just a single once more. 12 for 2.
Yes, and certainly the singles, though they are welcome, certainly is not going to help their scoring rate cause, because if they were to win this game, again, net run rate comes into play.
So Peters is punching this one out into the deep where the fielder is posted, and they're able to come through for a run.
I'm wondering if the dew is falling out there, because I see the bowlers employing a towel to okay, so the umpire for the first game is indicating that it is dew, the dew is falling heavily out there, so they certainly required the towel to keep the ball dry.
This is Allen with a slower delivery. The ball is punched away out to the deep, and they're coming back, and they get the second run in the end as the fielder coming off the boundary. Good spot there by the batsman in Orlando Peters, noticing that the fielder was slow and calling back Elijah Peters for that second run. The total is on to 16 for 2.
Yes, very good running there by the batsmen, and they certainly want to pick up the tempo. You know, if they can't get ones, if they're getting ones, if they can convert the ones into twos, even better.
A swing and a miss by Elijah Peters. Was trying to hit that one somewhere, and Allen beating his bat and into the gloves of the wicketkeeper.
And Allen has had a decent tournament so far also.
With bat and ball, delivery that he was looking to hit away on the offside is Elijah Peters taking the inner portion of the bat, going into the onside field, and the batsmen were able to cross for a single. So 4 overs gone, and Jennings, they're struggling to really get going. Elijah Peters is on 4, Lando Peters is on 8, and Jennings, they've only crawled on to 17 for 2 after 4 overs at a rate of 4.25.
Yes, and 4.25 certainly is not a good rate in a format like this. 4.25 runs per over is really putting your opposition, giving your opposition the advantage as far as the game is concerned, and they would certainly want to step it up. But again, as we have noted, Orlando Peters is still out in the middle. He has been known to he can blast it around when he really starts hitting it.
Dean Williams is in, and this delivery is swung away by Peters, but just for a single. He finds the fielder in the deep, and the batsman cross for 1 run.
Yes, not much timing, or the timing on that shot was not very good. It just basically ballooned into the onside, and safely, but not with any real power or timing.
Dean Williams is in, and Orlando Peters will get a single as he just works this one down on the onside for another run.
So here we see them again, just working the ball around for the singles and twos. The bowlers have been very disciplined. No extra runs have been given away so far in terms of wides or no balls. So, they're keeping it tight.
Mm-hmm. This one is struck out into the straightish mid-wicket region, and the catch is taken. So Elijah Peters goes, hitting it straight down the throat of the fielder at that mid-wicket, straightish mid-wicket position, going for the big shot, hitting it in the air, catch is taken, and that's the 3rd wicket down for Jennings. They are now 19 for 3.
Yes, 19 for 3, and this certainly is putting Jennings further into the hole. A short delivery. Peters certainly was trying to capitalize on it, but again, the timing was not good, and the placement itself also was not good, as it was placed directly to the fielder out there on the wide mid-wicket, deep wide mid-wicket region, and he was able to just take a few paces in and comfortably take that catch.
So Jennings losing another wicket, and so the new batsman is at the crease, and Orlando Peters is driving at 1 as Cameron Miller is the new player, the new batsman. Dean Williams is in, and Orlando Peters is hitting this one over the mid-wicket region. He gets 6 runs. So it was right up to him, and with just a jerk of the bottom hand, he really timed it well, hit it over the top of the fielder who is posted on that mid-wicket boundary, and he picked up 6 runs.
Yes, almost looked like a short flick, and you got good power and also very good timing on that stroke. The fielder there for a moment thought he might have been in with a chance for a catch, but realized that he had to jump, and the ball certainly cleared him and cleared the boundary.
He will get a single after that delivery from Williams, just playing it into the short backward square region for a run. So the end of over number 5, bowled by Rising Sun Spartans. Jennings Cricket Club will need to get a move on because they are only at 26 for 3.
Yes, but that 26 certainly benefiting from that last over where they got something in the region of 9 runs. So those 9 runs certainly benefiting the Jennings team, and they will want to continue at least at that rate, picking up at least 9 runs per over from now till the end, or even more, as they seek to push the score along.
Certainly would want to push the score along. Orlando Peters, though, has the ability to do that. And he's swinging this one out to the fielder at that mid-wicket boundary, and he's out caught. So he went for the big hit, Orlando Peters, and he held out to the man on that mid-wicket boundary, who took a smart catch standing right at the edge of the boundary. Orlando Peters goes for 16, and Jennings, they are now 26 for 4.
And you could see that Orlando certainly is very dejected, having been dismissed. He knows that the team is depending heavily on what he can do out in the middle, and he was hoping maybe by any stretch of the imagination that maybe the fielder may have touched the boundary rope or something that would have given him a reprieve. But not the case tonight. He has been dismissed for 16, and I would want to say that the Spartans are feeling very buoyant as far as their chances of limiting Jennings to a very good low score first, and secondly, to give themselves a score that they can march towards victory.
They're doing the first half well so far because they've already had 5.1 overs. 5.1 overs bowled, and they've picked up 4 wickets and limiting Jennings to just 26 runs. The new batsman gets off the mark right away, Jedediah Martin, and gets a single out to mid-wicket, and so one more to the total, 27 for 4.
Yes, and I think he got a gift there, but didn't capitalize on it. A full toss that he did not put away. Just got a single for it.
Another single is had as this delivery just worked away for another run. So the runs are coming in ones for Jennings. I think the only boundary we've had is that 6 that was hit by Orlando Peters in the last over. And when we look on the board, what has been very good for Rising Sun so far, and I'm putting the curse on them. Here is this delivery driven and just over the top of the fielder coming across at that short extra cover position. It goes out to the field at long off, and they get 1. But I was saying that so far, the extras column is where they've been very good. And they've been good all tournament. They've not given away anything. Rising Sun, they've tried not to bowl wides, and they've tried not to overstep. And this delivery, the batsman is driving, but straight back to the bowler. And there is no run.
And I believe the Spartans are feeling very confident, even before the game, that they were going to get a victory, because Stanley Simon, who has been in the final 11, is not playing tonight, it appears.
And here is he bowling him. A Yorker-length delivery. The batsman was coming forward and made it into a Yorker. The stumps are knocked back. Jennings losing another wicket, and they're losing their way. They are now on 29 for 5.
29 for 5. Very disastrous start. This is what, the 6th over? And so far, they've only been able to put 29 runs on the board. But even further adding to that misery is the fact that they have lost 5 wickets. And so the Spartans have now eaten their way through the batting order down into the, I would want to say, the second half of the batting, maybe the tail. And they're really fancying their chances of possibly bowling the Jennings team out or completing the 10 overs for under 50 runs.
Certainly. And we've seen that the Jennings, and so Jennings, they have used their batting substitute because Martin Brown has come out. So Martin Brown listed as the batting substitute for Jennings, and maybe in my ear, umpire Larry can tell me how that batting substitute works, as he probably has read the.
And I see batting. I see him standing outside of his crease as the bowler prepares to bowl. I'm wondering if he intends to keep that position because, he is standing in a position where he can be given out if the bowler chooses to break the stumps on his approach to the wicket.
Well,
okay. Something is not right.
It's not right. We see that he's going off. Umpires having consulted, and I think that he's going off. I think the batting substitute has to do with if somebody is already batting, that he can be substituted, not coming in as a genuine batsman. And I think that's the problem that is happening, is that they sent Martin Brown in as the batting substitute. He's listed as the batting substitute, but he's actually coming in as a regular batsman. And I think the idea of the batting substitute is that you have somebody who is already batting and not doing well, and you want to replace them with somebody else. Then is when you can use the batting substitute. So if I was Jennings, what I would have done, I would have sent in now a lesser batsman, and after one ball, I call him out and send in the batting substitute. And that in that way, I would get around the system.
Is there a minimum number of deliveries that
No,
batsman has to face?
It's just that it has to be a batsman that you want to replace.
Okay.
So I would have sent in probably one of my tail-enders that I know, I don't necessarily need to bat.
Well, let's see if that happens.
Or somebody that I don't need to bowl, and then after about one delivery, I call him off. Here is the delivery. The batsman was looking to rush down for a single, and it was not on. So Malik Gerald has come out to join Jedediah Martin. Martin is facing, and Bruni is this time should be called wide because that one angle down the leg side maybe took a little bit of pad on its way down. We will see leg by, yes. So it did hit the pad of Martin, and so they are leg by into the book. So finally, the extras column has moved by 130 for 5. The total is Martin is on 2. Gerald comes into strike. He's a knot.
And that's the part of the extras column you want to see moving. The leg buys and the buys, not the wides and the no balls.
Here is Gerald hitting Bruni. Delivery down hard to the long off region just for a single. So Rising Sun, they've done well out in the field. They've really been on their toes. The Rising Sun Spartans. Bruni is in, and again, this delivery, they're wanting the single. They're going to get it in the end, as Bruni, in trying to stop the ball on the onside, kicked it up to the mid-on region, and the batsmen were able to cross for a run. So 2 deliveries to come in Bruni's second over, second and final over, 32 for 5 Jennings. Bruni is in. And this delivery, the batsman is he bowled? He is, because he was backing away looking to play it on the onside. The ball crashing into the stumps. He looked down and then just turned and walked away. And that's the end of Gerald and the Jennings correction in further trouble. 32 for 6.
And I think this is This is the point where they could have replaced him before that delivery to employ the batting sub. Now, the batting sub cannot be employed again because first the batsman has to come out first and face at least a delivery before.
Shows that the team management for Jennings did not understand how the batting substitute works. He was probably at the meeting but didn't listen. As when we go to meetings here in Antigua and Barbuda, people think more about going home than the substance of what is taking place. But again, you want to think about these kind of things. And if I am up here and I can think that, you know, you let the man go in and face one ball and then you substitute him, I think that Jennings, I hope that they're probably watching the stream and they can hear my suggestion and have it done. But the new batsman is coming out to the crease. He's a short man, as we will see who he is in a short while. He's going to be facing Bruni, who now has 2 wickets. Trudge is the name of the new batsman that has come out. Bruni's in and he works this one into the onside, gets 1. That's all he's going to have as the fielder comes in and does the fielding, and 1 run. So the end of the over has come up. It's the end of over number 7. Jennings Cricket Club, they moved on to 32 for 6.
Yes, and the fielder coming in from the boundary came in very, very quickly, limiting the batsman to only 1 run. A lot of real estate there where they play the ball into the gap, but that very aggressive approach by the fielder really limited them to 1 run. And it appears as if the Jennings team might not be employing that batting sub, because if I'm not mistaken, it seems as if Martin Brown has already removed his pads, and I don't know if it is a bit of a misunderstanding of the rules as it relates to the batting substitute, but it appears as if they may not be employing the batting sub again.
Maybe they don't understand how to employ it, so maybe somebody that's close to them can tell them what I'm saying if they're listening to the stream. We watch as a new over is about to begin. The first delivery is driven out to the long off region for a single. So now that Trudge and Martin would have faced deliveries, Jennings could employ the batting sub. They could call out one of them, one that probably will not be needed for bowling, and replace them with Martin. He's swinging and missing outside the off stump. So Williams is the bowler. Ozan Williams, we understand his name is. Stands there as the umpire just makes some adjustments to the stumps. Looks to be umpire Bertel Baltimore. And he's driving hard the batsman out to the long on region. Comes through for another run. So the runs are just dribbling on. 35 for 6 in over number 8.
Yes, the run.
By Ozan Williams.
Runs are coming like drops in a bucket.
And the batsman is hitting this one hard out to the long on region. He wants the second run sent back. And good thing, so it was a good strong throw coming back to the bowler's end. And the batsman having to just stay for 1 run.
Yes, and a good decision by the batsman at the other end to send him back, because he certainly would not have made his ground had he decided to go for the second run.
So Williams just walks in and is bowling now, and this delivery is the batsman is missing it because it was angled down the leg side. He was looking to help it away. No ball is the signal by the umpire. So They
Over the waist.
must have been an over the waist full toss. And the batsman had missed out. I thought that he had missed out on that one, but he gets 4 and he now has a free hit. And he's getting the free hit down to the long on region and just a run. So 40 for 6, or should it be 41? 41 for 6 is the total at the end of over number 8. Martin is on 5, Trudge is on 3.
And yes, they'll be they certainly would be happy for that extra 4 runs that they got with that wide delivery or that no ball over the waist, even though it was a full toss. And
so we see Jennings now making the batting substitute, and it is Jedediah Martin that they're calling out, and Morton Brown, who was named as the batting substitute, finally coming in now to join Trudge, who is at the crease with the total on 41 for 6.
Yes, and if Morton Brown can...
Well, they're deciding because they look as if they're sending back Jedediah Martin, and it is Trudge that the team is calling. So it's all sorts of confusion here. Martin had walked all of the way down to the boundary, only to be sent back by his team, and so he is returning, and Trudge is the one that is being substituted. I was surprised because I was saying that Jedediah Martin is one of the bowlers for Jennings, and I think that if he's substituted, that he can't bowl. Correct? He would still can bowl. I am totally confused. And I'm looking at the umpire here in the commentary position who helps us with our stream, and he's trying to explain to me, and it is like him talking Chinese to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. Kadeem Phillips starts the 9th over.
We'll just go with the flow.
We'll go with the flow. I'll have to look up. I should have the rules somewhere in my arsenal. I'll have to look them up in the break and try to read and see if I can make sense of it. But for the time being, we know that Morton Brown is out there as a substitute batsman in place of Trudge, and Jennings, they are on 42 for 6.
Yes, and he's out there for one purpose only, and that's to speed up the scoring rate. Ooh.
Here is he getting a delivery from Kadeem Phillip above the head, and Kadeem Phillip with a no ball, and that was a poor delivery. When we were saying that Rising Sun, they have not given away anything, we've seen 2 no balls in quick succession from either ends of the pitch, and so now maybe the dew is what is affecting Kadeem Phillip. We see him trying to rob the ball, and the umpire belatedly signaling the free hit. These umpires are not remembering, or y'all are not concentrating. Which one is it? Oh, somebody in the back says it's a concentration problem. We believe, I don't believe, but here is the batsman swinging at the free hit and missing, and so nothing done from the free hit, as Jedediah Martin missed that one completely from Kadeem Phillip. Phillip is back to his crease and is bowling, and again the batsman is swinging and the ball coming into his pads and falling away in the offside. No runs. 47 for 6 with 1 delivery to go in the 9th over. So just 7 balls to come in Jennings' innings. Martin facing up to Kadeem Phillip, and he's punching this one back down. Phillip doesn't field to his own bowling, and the ball runs out to the long off region, and he's run out. Coming back was that looks to be Morton Brown, who was coming back at the end, and he was struggling for all he was worth. The umpire raised the finger, and that's the end of Morton Brown, the number 20 for Jennings. He goes off very, very dejectedly, and the total is on 48 for 7.
And yes, well, Brown certainly being run out. The 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 team has certainly lost the benefit of him as a batting sub, because having been run out, he certainly did not get an opportunity to hit the ball around, and which was the purpose for them sending him out. And it's really unfortunate for the Jennings team, especially after they have been struggling so much with the bat out there in the middle.
So 49 it is for 7 at the end of that over, and we're into the final over, and just one run. 49 for 7 in the final over. Jaheim Africa has come out, and we were just trying to identify the last batsman, because on our list, number 20, who is the bowling sub, jersey was out, but the scoreboard said it was Martin Brown, who is listed as number 10 on our sheet, so we'll have to go with the official scorers and identifiers. But the person looked like Martin Brown to me. So in the final over, and ball again is driven, and Kadim Phillip opts not to throw the stumps down, as there was no real backing up on the onside, and had he thrown and not gathered by the bowler at that non-striker's end, could have been overthrows. Hodge looked at him as if he wanted him to plug at the stump, but I think the better judgment prevailed on that occasion. Hodge is in once more, and the batsman is driving again out to Kadim Phillip at short extra cover for another single.
Yes, and certainly, as you said, good sense prevailed there, because there's so much real estate. Had he missed, then the ball would have gone into the vast real estate on the other side of the pitch, and the both batsmen could have certainly capitalized and gotten extra runs.
So another run to the Jennings total. They are in the 50s now, 52 for 7, with just 2 deliveries to go in their innings. So it's going to be another low total for Jennings, a small total for Rising Sun to chase. Batsman is swinging at this one, hits it in the air, but it's going to fall short, and they're coming back for the second run, and again, not taken cleanly by the bowler, so the batsmen were able to complete 2 runs. So 54 for 7.
Yes, and certainly if the bowler had gathered that cleanly, he definitely would have been in with a chance for a run out. However, because it was not gathered cleanly, they completed that second run. And every little run that they get at this moment, they would certainly want to grab, because they have really struggled out in the middle. Well, the fielders appear to be leaving the... It seems to be a bit of a mix-up, but it seems like the innings is...
Well, the innings has ended. The official scoreboard says that there is 1 delivery to go. 54 for 7 is the total. So any which way they're going off, and Jennings, the, Rising Sunday will require 55 runs for victory in their 10 overs at the crease.
A very good bowling performance here by the Rising Sun Spartans. Throughout the tournament, their bowling has really done the job for them, and it is one of the reasons why they are in such a good position in the standings, having been undefeated so far in the tournament. And it certainly looks like they're in a very good position, in with a very strong chance of winning this game also. Oh, the one thing that I would caution in terms of the Rising Sun Spartans batting is that they're known to be somewhat inconsistent batting wise, and so they can't take it for granted that the runs will be made. They still have to go out there, do the job, and ensure that their team secures victory.
So 54 for 7 Rising Sun. When we return, we will, Jennings correction, when we return, we will have the reply of Rising Sun, who will need 55 runs to win of their 10 overs. We'll be back shortly with the reply of Rising Sun Spartans. So we're back, and Rising Sun Spartans, they are about to reply, and they need 55 runs for victory. First delivery is a dot ball. Wills and Allen, their usual openers, are in attendance, and it is Williams who is bowling for Jennings. So 2 dot balls to start.
Yes, and Jennings would certainly want as many dot balls as possible, and they would also want to be very disciplined in their bowling, not giving any extras to help the cause of the Spartans.
3 dot balls to begin the reply. Just what Jennings would want. Tidy first over to heap some pressure on Rising Sun.
Certainly.
And Wills is trying to force one away. Still a dot ball as he drags it into the onside field.
Yes, and he certainly has not gotten a handle on the pace of the deliveries yet, because that we tried to play out in the offside, but ended up playing it away into the onside.
So they get a run down to a short third man position, and he's looking to come back for the second run. They're going to get it in the end, as the bowler did not collect, and it would have been an easy run out, but he missed the ball, and the batsmen are able to rush back for 2 runs. They scrambled 2. Almost a big mix-up there between Wills and Allen.
Yes, and I would say the credit to the batsmen for hustling, simply because the hustle put some pressure on the fielder that was gathering at the stumps. He, because he was under some pressure, wanted to collect and break the stumps quickly, and committed the cardinal sin, where they say first you ensure that you catch the ball before you try to break the stumps. And that bit of pressure is what caused him not to be able to effect the run out.
And here is an appeal, as the batsman was looking to play a cross-batted shot. The end of the over has come. At the end of the first over, Wills is on 2. Allen yet to face. Rising Sun Spartans, they are 2 without loss, requiring another 53 runs of 54 deliveries.
Yes, a decent start, a very good start, I should say, by the Jennings team there, limiting Spartans to only 2 runs in that first over. That last delivery was certainly drifting down the leg side, and the batsman tried to swing it away towards the leg side, but missed completely, coming off the pads, and resulting in a dot ball. But the Jennings team would certainly want to keep this up, as these dot balls would certainly ensure that more pressure will be placed on the Spartans, and hopefully if the pressure builds, it can work in the favor of the Jennings team.
Kenroy Brown is in, and his first delivery struck over the mid-on region, beats the fielder, and good work by the fielder chasing back, pulls it up just inside the boundary, and the batsmen are able to come back for 3 runs. So Allen was driving and got it over the top of the mid-on fielder, and the fielder turned and gave chase and did a good job of preventing the boundary. So 5 without loss in the second over.
Yes, and there we see that the ball just barely cleared the mid-on fielder, but he also did quite a very good job of gathering himself, chasing down the ball, and was able to stop it just about a foot or so inside the boundary, and preventing 4 runs. But preventing 4 runs, or preventing the boundary, but the batsmen were able to run 3 in the process.
Kenroy Brown's delivery is worked away out into the deep forward square position for a single. So 1 more to the total. Six without loss.
Yes, and So the Spartans are steadily approaching the score. They still need to get on top of the bowling.
Allen is cutting this one, square of the wicket, gets it down to a wide third man position for a single. Brings the left-handed Wills onto strike. 7 without loss in over number 2.
Yes, and he just played that a little wide of the field. The fielder got a hand onto it, but had he not gotten a hand onto it, I don't think he would have had the legs to get to the boundary, but it would have certainly been possibly 2 runs.
Spartans not necessarily needing to get the runs in any speedy fashion, because they are already on 12 points, and once they defeat Jennings, they would have a perfect 16 points from the preliminary stages, and PIC Blackhawks will join them as the qualifiers from this zone. So Rising Sun Spartans know what they need to do. They just need to get over the line.
Yes.
And once they get over the line, they're safe. Jennings, on the other hand, needs victory if they're going to stand a chance of qualifying, and then it comes down to net run rate. Here is the batsman Wills looking to swing one over the mid-wicket region. Again, the ball taking the inside edge and going down to a wide long leg position for a run. More of a backward square than a fine leg position. The fielder on that fine leg boundary having to do some work around. So just 1 more to the total. Kenroy Brown, I've said in the past and continues tonight, has a long run up, but is deceptive in terms of his pace. Doesn't seem to bowl very quickly, and he gets up to the crease.
Yes, it certainly doesn't.
He sprints
More
in,
of a medium
but then
pace.
almost of a medium pace. When he delivers, his hand goes over almost in a slow motion type of fashion, and he doesn't have the most pace you've seen. 8 without loss at the end of over number 2. Wills and Allen on 4.
Yes, and at a scoring rate of about 4 runs per over. They're still below the required run rate, but I don't think they'll be panicking as yet. They certainly realize that it's only they need another 47 runs to win, and that's off of just about 48 balls.
Deliveries.
So a runner ball could still keep them in good stead. So still no need to feel any pressure at this moment. But again, the Jennings team would want to continue the start that they would have had, and maybe even try to even be a little tighter in the field to put more pressure on the Rising Sun Spartans team.
They could eke out a wicket as well. Here is this one, swung away in the air, but it's going to fall safe. Just a run for Wills, as it went between the fielder who is at backward square on the boundary and the man at deep mid-wicket. The ball falling between them, and the batsmen were able to cross for a single.
Yes, and I sense that the batsman may be having a bit of a panic though, because whereas he could have worked that ball away, he chose to swing at it. He swung it away in the air. Yes, it went safely, but what if he had gotten enough bat onto it to take it to the fielder?
Allen is going to get another run out to the long off region. So the runs in this game have not really been coming in boundaries. We saw Jennings struggle in their turn. I think they had 1 boundary.
Yes, 1 boundary, 1-6, and the fortune of getting 2 extras wide and 2 no balls, I think.
Yep. So Jennings really got most of their runs in 1s and 2s. They really couldn't find the boundary this evening. And so far, Rising Sun has found it difficult as well. This delivery again is struck away, square of the wicket. The batsman can only cross for a run, give the left-handed Wills another run. He's up to 6. 5 is Allen, 11 without loss. And again, Jennings too have started well in terms of the extras. They have kept it down. Here is the batsman eventually getting the single. They started and stopped, and then the fielder diving away in the mid-wicket region couldn't gather, and the ball going behind him, and the batsmen were able to cross for another run. 12 without loss in over number 3.
Yes, and again, just getting the runs in ones and twos, just the odd 3 run, I think. But the Jennings team would certainly like to see this.
Another run for Rising Sun. Just a drop into the offside and take off for the single to get the 13th run. So 3 overs have gone. The rate required is 6.00, and Rising Sun, they're scoring at 4.33. They're behind the rate, but they should be worried. After 3 overs, they're 13 without loss.
Yes, shouldn't be worried, I should say. But again, there's some dot balls piling up. Runs are coming in trickles, 1s and 2s. And at this moment now, whereas they required, I think, 47 runs in the last over off of 48 deliveries. Now they require 42 runs off of 42 deliveries. So at some point, if they continue to bowl as tightly as they are, and the Spartans do not speed up their scoring, the runs required are going to overtake the number of deliveries to be bowled.
Now, and if it was to rain now when we have a flood, Rising Sun would be behind, because Sir Duckworth, Lewis and Stern says with 3 overs gone with no runs, you should be at 14. With no wickets down, you should be at 14. Here is a delivery caught behind outside the off stump from the batsman from the bowler Kenway Brown. Flashing at it was Wills. Edge found, catch taken. Rising Sun losing their first wicket in over number 4. They're now 13 for 1.
Yes, on the ball just outside off stump, length delivery. The batsman certainly was trying to flash it away. I think he did not have enough room for the cut shot, and so he elected to go for the cut shot, outside edge taken, and the keeper did very well to just move to his left and gather that catch. A regulation catch nonetheless, but still had to complete the catch. And the first dismissal coming there for the Jennings team, Rising Sun Spartans losing their first wicket. And they have to be very careful, because even though they have most of the resources in hand, even though this total is a low total, their batting has shown a bit of inconsistency. And if they allow the Jennings team to get on top, it could pour some pressure onto them in this run chase.
One person on the stream was suggesting that if Jennings were smart, they would not dismiss those two batsmen in Wills and Allen, and they would win the game.
Well, you know, cricket, as they say, should be played according to the game condition. And if the batsmen were to continue that way, yes, but what if the batsmen got their eyes in and then started to hit the ball around? What would you suggest then?
Xavier Marshall has come in, and he's going to be facing up to Brown. And Brown is giving him a good delivery to start, a Yorker length delivery that he plays back along the pitch quietly and can't score. 13 for 1 in over number 4. So Rising Sun Spartans having a very slow start. Good bowling from Jennings. But the only thing that Rising Sun can say in their favor is that the 2 opening bowlers are bowling out, so they have other bowlers to come. Beating the batsman outside the line of the off stump again is Kenway Brown, with a delivery touching down just about outside the off stump and carrying through to the wicketkeeper. The batsman played and missed, and so
Yes, and I would say that even though Brown is not bowling very quickly, he is employing a very good line, very good length, and it's keeping the batsmen guessing, also keeping them off of their rhythm so that they are not able to score freely off of him.
He gets a delivery that he's driving up to the mid-on region, gets a run. So Marshall is off the mark, and it brings Allen on strike. Tassilo Allen is the opening batsman for Rising Sun Spartans.
I think this long run up by Brown is more or less for exercise purposes.
He starts and stops, so he would have gotten some on that occasion. Yes. Still to come, the Rising Sun Spartans, they have Kadeem Phillip, they have Melvin Charles in their batting. Still some batting to come. Reaching for this one outside the line of the off stump. The umpire, you could almost hear his brain thought about calling it wide, and then he opted against it. So
yes, and I thought that one was well written. The guideline that gives an indicator whether the delivery is wide. You see there the dot balls are piling up, and as these dot balls pile up, batsmen tend to feel the pressure that they're not scoring and tend to do rash things.
That's what you want as a team. Here is this ball hit high in the air. The fielder is chasing in, and he drops the catch. He was coming in very quickly, that fielder, off the boundary, and he rushed in, misjudged it completely, put the catch down, and that is a chance for Marshall, and 2 runs to the total of Rising Sun at the end of over number 4. They are 16 for 1.
Yes, and the fielder really did well to cover as much ground as he did to get to the ball. But as he got to the ball, he was still moving forward. He put up his hand as if almost to suggest that he just wants the ball to drop in his hand and hopefully stick there. He didn't approach it with all of the instructions that we give individuals when approaching a catch like that. And certainly the result was the result that he achieved was pretty much on the card, because his balance was off, his positioning of his hands was off, and he was still on the move. And so he eventually spilled the catch, and the batsman was able to get a life, and they also were able to get 2 runs.
So it was Tassilo Allen who played that one in the air, and Jedediah Martin was the player who put that catch down for Jennings. So Paul Miller is in, and this delivery stayed away down to a short third man for a single. Just another run. So the boundaries have eluded the batsmen so far. They've not been able to get the ball away. Any ball that has gone away has gone just short distances, and they have struggled to really score freely. Here, Rising Sun, here is this one, cannoning into the pad. There was an appeal from the bowler. He was running away. Not impressed was the umpire in Candice Butler, and she remained unmoved by the Miller thought that he had his man. And here is this delivery again. Pressure on the batsman in Allen. He can't seem to get the ball away. 17 for 1 in over number 5. So he's now getting this one down to third man. He's coming back for the second run, diving into his crease and getting there in the end. So 2 runs to Allen, 2 runs to Rising Sun Spartans, 2 deliveries to go in the 5th over. They were 19 for 1. So looks as if this is going to be this 53 runs is being made heavy weather of by Rising Sun Spartans. And this delivery is cut away. Nice looking shot out to the fielder on that boundary. That's Martin. He has a good throw alongside the stumps. And they get the 20th run of the innings. I was surprised when I didn't see Melvin Charles come at number 3 for Rising Sun, with them not being able to get the ball away. I was surprised when I see that they sent Xavier Marshall. Here is this delivery. Miller is screaming at the umpire. Not out, says umpire Butler. She signals leg byes now. And the batsmen were able to cross for that run. 21 for 1 at the end of over number 5. Allen is on 11 and Marshall on 2. The Rising Sun Spartans, they require another 34 runs from 30 deliveries at a rate of 6.80.
Yes, and I like what the Jennings bowlers are. I say so far that they're disciplined throughout the innings, because I don't want to suggest that they're going to be bowling in a disciplined manner for the whole innings. But so far, they've been bowling in a very disciplined manner, and they're limiting the batsmen. They're not giving them anything. They're not giving them any extra runs. They're not giving them anything to play their shots, and limiting them to just singles and 2s. And so far, they have been able to increase the required run rate from the beginning of the innings. And if they continue in this way, they will certainly be putting themselves in a very good position to win the match and be piling on the pressure on the batsmen out there in the middle.
So, still work to be done. Rising Sun, they're going to get these 34 runs from another 30. We saw a message come out to the Rising Sun batsmen. We will check and see if there is a change in the approach. Orlando Peters runs through with his runs through, didn't deliver. So 21 for 1, 34 runs to win from 30 deliveries. So you would still think that the favor is in the Rising Sun Spartans. The match is still in Rising Sun Spartans' favor, because, you know, with a couple of boundaries, it can change things. This is Peters, and the batsman is going for an almighty swing. On that occasion, the ball peeling off the outer edge and going down to a third man position for a run.
Is this an opportunity for the Spartans to utilize their batting sub? And if so, if they use the batting sub, can the batsman that the batting sub replaces come back out to bat later on?
No is the answer to both questions, because the batting sub is listed as Kemar Hill, and he's not known as, at least not known to me, as a great batsman that would change things. I think that they just need to get a push on, and if they lose a wicket now, you should see either Melvin Charles or Kadeem Phillip coming out to the crease to try and change the course of things. I was trying to research the substitute but I'm not seeing it. I should have it. I know it was sent to me, but I'm just. Here is a swing and a miss again by the batsman, and that's Marshall. Marshall has been out there. He's just been wasting deliveries, pretty much.
That was a very good delivery there by Peters. The ball was tailing in, and then it pitched and left the batsman. So he was playing for a line that was coming into the middle to leg stump, and the ball pitched, left him, and beat the off stump and also the outside edge.
Peters comes in once more. And the batsman is out, caught at short backward point. He was just trying to guide that one down, dab it down to a third man position. It left the bat in the air, and the fielder coming around at that short backward point position took a simple catch. That's the end of Marshall, and Rising Sun losing their second wicket. They're now 23 for 2.
Again, another good delivery there by Peters. Another slow one, a slow leg cutter. The ball was moving away from the batsman as he tried to guide it away towards the point region, only electing to play it away in the air to the point fielder, who ran around to his left. It looked like it was Paul Miller. Ran around to his left and effected a smart catch, pulling it to taking the catch, running to his left. And the Spartans are certainly putting themselves under more pressure, losing their second wicket. This is the 5th over. Is it the 5th over being bowled or the 6th? It's the 6th over being bowled, and only
2 deliveries to go.
Only 23 runs on the board. They're certainly going to start to feel some pressure in this run chase.
The captain in Kadim Phillip has come out, and no doubt Orlando Peters would want to continue the pressure on Kadim Phillip. He's just making an adjustment to the field. He has moved the man from that short mid-wicket position. He was moving him to the offside, and then he just changed his mind, so he sends him back into that short, straightish mid-wicket position. So the field is spread. There is a man down at wide third man. There is a short point. Cover is on the boundary. Extra cover is short. Long off, long on. Short mid-wicket. And here is Kadim Phillip flashing outside the line of the off stump and missing another dot delivery. So the pressure continues here on the Rising Sun Spartans. So one delivery to go in over number 6. And they still need another 32 runs to get. But they're now running low on deliveries, as it's 25 deliveries to get the 32 runs. So Rising Sun really making heavy weather of this small total, but Jennings feeling well. Here is Kadim Phillip beaten by a beauty outside the line of the off stump by Orlando Peters. One that touchdown cut him in half into the gloves of the wicketkeeper, and at the end of over number 6, the total has moved on, or it is still a paltry 23 for 2. And Phillip yet to score, Allen on 12, and Rising Sun really making heavy weather of this small total.
Yes, certainly making heavy weather, and the Jennings team are now feeling very buoyant. You could see that the fielders are moving around quickly in the field, moving in between overs. They certainly would feel like they have a very good chance of winning this game. So far, the only extra that they have given away is a leg bye, so they have not been giving away any free runs. They have been very disciplined in their bowling, and also the batsmen have been adding to this by not being able to get the ball away in bundles.
So Miller is continuing, and Allen is hitting this one hard out to the long on region, but again finds the fielder and just a single. Allen is trying to force the issue, but he's not finding the gaps, and the pitch seems to be playing a bit slow tonight, so the batsmen have to generate all the pace for themselves. The field changes over for the left-handed Kadim Phillip.
Yes, the pitch may certainly be a factor in this whole run chase, because the batsmen, not only in this game but also in the early game, seem not to be able to play the ball.
Kadim Phillip is driving hard, but just for a single out to long off.
Yes, especially those balls that were not exactly full of length, they have seemed to struggle with getting the ball away with any great deal of comfort.
Allen jumps down the track, hits this one high in the air. There's a fielder coming in, and he drops the catch. Once again, the technique was poor from the fielder coming in off the boundary, and he just pushed at it and pushed it to the ground. And Allen was able to come back for 2 runs, and not a good bit of feeling there on that boundary from Jennings.
Yeah, it looked like the fielder was employing a bit of volleyball technique there in approaching that catch. It just seemed out of sorts when he was trying to gather that ball to take the catch.
Allen jumped down and he's bowled. Well, he's standing his ground, but the umpire has not given anything, but we see him walking down now. Was he given out?
Yes. But I'm trying to determine what that might have been a stumping, but it looked as if the keeper had the stumps in his hand and threw it up in the air.
So Allen goes. He was clearly frustrated at not being able to score. He hit one in the air, the delivery before, and was dropped, and then he jumped down the track again and got out. So 27 for 3 is the total. We're just trying to have a look at it on replay to determine what was the dismissal.
Yes,
and you see Allen jumping down the track, and looks as if it was bowled to me.
Yes.
It was bowled.
He was bowled, and then the keeper grabbed the stump, plucked it out of the ground, and threw it up in the air. I guess in celebration of the wicket. So the Spartans are certainly putting themselves under a lot more pressure, having lost their 3rd wicket, only 27 runs on the board. And it is, we are in the 7th. Is this the 7th or the 8th over?
This is
The 7th over being bowled. And the Spartans are certainly well behind the run rate now.
Melvin Charles has come in, and his first delivery, he's just tucking it in the onside and taking off for the easy single. So you tend to think that Melvin Charles and Kadeem Phillip has to be the 2 people if they're going to do it for Rising Sun. Phillip and Charles both on 1, the captain, and of course Melvin Charles, one of the top batsmen for Rising Sun. And Kadeem Phillip is swinging at 1, looking to force it away. The ball just going softly to the fielder in that short extra cover position, and there's no run. The end of over number 7 has come up. So with 18 deliveries to go, still 27 runs to get for the Rising Sun Spartans. They're on 28 for 3. And when you thought that they were going to just rush home with these 53 runs, they're making heavy weather of it. They're in trouble?
Yes, very heavy weather, almost similar to the rains that we experienced some weeks ago. The Spartans are now requiring 9 runs per over from their final 3 overs. Not an impossible task by any stretch of the imagination, but from the way the first 7 overs have gone, it would appear as if these final 3 overs are going to take some getting for them to if they are going to win this game.
18 deliveries to go, 27 runs to get, and it's going to be Jedediah Martin, who's going to bowl to Melvin Charles. And Charles gets a Yorker length delivery, digs it out, and can't score. So the dot balls continue as 17 deliveries to go, still 27 runs to get. So Rising Sun Spartans, I wonder if Kenny Benjamin is listening and has already done the scoring rate. He's good at those kind of things, net run rate and so on. I have no idea what the formula is. We watch as Charles is hitting this one straight back past the bowler hard, but the fielder coming around from long on does the fielding, long off does the fielding, and just a single.
Yes, just a single, but you could see there that Charles just getting good bat on the ball. However, the fielder was able to run around.
Rising Sun hit a boundary yet in this innings? I don't think so. I don't remember one.
Not that I can remember.
No. So they've not had a boundary, and one extra so far from Jennings. So they've been really tight, and they've piled on the pressure on the Rising Sun Spartans. And Kadeem Phillip is hitting this one hard out to the backward point position. Thought he had gotten the first boundary, but the fielder rushing around and sliding and effecting the save, and Phillip just gets a single.
Yes, very good work there by the fielder at the deep point boundary. Running around, it was hit hard. It was traveling quite quickly, but once the fielder got around and got his body behind it, he was able to limit them to only one run. Again, keeping the pressure.
25 from 15 they need, as Charles is hitting this one hard out to the long on region. Again, finding the fielder. So just a run, and he's coming back for a second run, and Kadeem Phillips stood his ground, and Charles is run out. What disaster was that? He raced back down the track. Kadeem Phillips was never interested. The run came to the end that Kadeem Phillips was standing. Melvin Charles was racing down. Kadeem Phillips didn't move, and the fielder at the keeper's end was able to throw it back up to the other end, and Melvin Charles walks back to the pavilion, a dejected man, and Rising Sun in further trouble. They are 31 for 4.
I can understand the thought pattern there by Melvin Charles in terms of going after the second run, because this is a stage of the game where the Spartans certainly need to be more aggressive in terms of getting their runs. They're not getting the boundaries, so they have to try and get it in twos if possible. Melvin Charles being the aggressor there, the captain Kadeem Phillips showed no interest at all in effecting the second run. Melvin Charles was running to the danger end, and from the replay that we are looking at, had Philip even committed to the second run, it would have been safe, because
Philip had
basically gone there and pitched his tent.
Stood up. Yep, he just stood up. He was never interested in a second. He had already stood up, and Charles came rushing back, and the wicketkeeper threw the ball back to the bowler's end, and Melvin Charles had to go. So Charles has gone. It has brought out Hodge to join Philip, and Rising Sun still needing 24 runs, correct?
Yes.
24 runs to win from 14 deliveries. Wide delivered by the bowler, and so he has given Rising Sun 4 free runs there, so they now need 20 from 13.
I think that was a bit generous there on the umpire's part. That ball, from my vantage point, looked like it was well within the line, and the umpire Spartans would be benefiting from those 4 runs.
Well, they get another run as this delivery is struck down to the long on position, and they cross for a run. So the end of over number 8 has come up with 2 overs to go, with 12 deliveries to go. They need another 19 runs for victory, the Rising Sun Spartans, and they really have to get a move on, or else they could find themselves not overhauling what was a small total. Looking at the replay, the umpire was correct. The ball was wide of that guideline that they use. If you look there, outside the guideline, and so the umpire was within his right, Vincey Bowen, to call the wide.
Well, he's always within his right to make any call he wants to make. And looking at it, yes, it just looked like it was outside the guideline. But from real time, it looked like he may have been a bit generous to the batting team.
So, 19 to get off 2 overs. And Rising Sun not hitting a boundary yet in this innings. It's going to take a big effort from Kadeem Phillip, and he would want to redeem himself after that mix-up that he had with Melvin Charles, or else they're going to have an almighty argument in that dressing room afterwards.
Fireworks
Kadeem
probably
Phillips,
have already started.
Fireworks probably already started. And it looks as if it's going to be Orlando Peters, who's coming from the southern end, and Kadeem Phillip is getting down and driving, but straight to the fielder. So 19 from 11, dot ball. Good bowling this from Orlando Peters, first stop.
Yes, and certainly we have to give a lot of credit to the Jennings team. They knew that they had to come out and bowl very well from the start, and pretty much they have done a very good job bowling up until this point, keeping the pressure on the Spartans' batting.
And this delivery is cut away down to a wide third man position. Kadeem Phillip is coming back, and he gets back for the second run, and he's given out, run out. The Jennings team broke the stumps. Phillip was short. The fielder on the boundary had a throw back, and they're running down to the fielder and lifting him up, and Rising Sun in more trouble. Kadeem Phillip found short of his crease, and they are now on 37 for 4, or is it 5? 37 for 5. Kadeem Phillip, the captain, going back, run out.
And I could see the reason for the celebration by the Jennings team, because it's the smallest player on the field, and I would want to believe the youngest player on the field, who gathered that ball, fielded it very well. But not only did he field it very well, but he also returned it very well to the keeper, that he was able to gather and throw the ball onto the stump, and having Kadeem short of the crease, as we could see the replay here, short of the crease and given out by the umpire. Yeah, so the youngster out there, Matthew Miller, I don't know how young he is, but he probably most likely is the youngest player on the field, and certainly the smallest player on the field. And so the team quite elated by the work that he did out there on the outfield, down at the deep third man position, and getting the ball in so that the keeper could complete the run out.
So Baltimore is the new batsman that has come out to replace Kadeem Phillip. And we just had a look at the run out on the replay, and it appears to us as if Kadeem Phillip was short of his crease. So good work, good umpiring again there by Bertel Baltimore, sending Kadeem Phillip on his way, and Rising Sun Spartans making really heavy weather of this. This is Orlando Peters, comes in to bowl, and this batsman is driving through the offside, still can't find the boundary. They're going to have to come back and settle for 2. So he was driving Baltimore on the ground, and the fielder on that deep mid-wicket boundary chasing around and stopping the ball from going for a boundary. So 16 to win of 9 deliveries. Kaif Baltimore, I think, is his name. we watch as here is he jumping down. It's bowled. Jumping down the track, looking to crash this one somewhere out of the ground. And his middle stump is knocked out of the ground. Or is it his off stump? A stump is knocked out of the ground. The batsman at the non-striker's end goes down on his knees, Hodge, wondering what is happening. And Rising Sun Spartans losing another wicket on 39. And Jennings, they are almost achieving impossible. When you thought that it could not get any worse, Kaif Baltimore losing his off stump, and the wicket has gone down, and it's now 39 for 6.
Yes, and the off stump knocked back, cartwheeling in the fashion that fast bowlers like to see. Spectacularly bowled by Orlando Peters, and he is really having he's having an effect on this game with his bowling, because his first over was certainly a very good over, and now he has come back in the penultimate over, bowling tightly and also taking wickets.
Here is he getting this one down to a short fine leg and diving away is Miller and saving runs once more for Jennings, because had that one gone past him, we might have seen the first boundary of the Rising Sun innings, but he was tumbling away to his left and stopping the ball, and just one run taken by the Rising Sun Spartan.
And certainly, I mean, he has not fielded many balls this evening, but in the few that he has fielded, he has looked good and certainly has done help to keep the pressure on the Spartans batsmen as they try to get these runs at the end of the innings to win this game. Certainly the pressure is building.
Here is he hitting this one out to the long on region. Gets just a run. So one more to end the over. So the equation is simple. They need 14 runs to win off the final over. So Rising Sun Spartan with Donna and Hodge at the crease need to find 14 runs of the final over. And with the fact that they have not scored a boundary yet in this innings, to me it seems a tall order, but it's cricket.
A very tall order, and what the bowler here at this moment, Martin, needs to do, he needs to first ensure that he doesn't give any extra runs. Secondly, he needs to ensure that he doesn't give any boundaries, and he would limit the batsmen to only ones and twos if possible in this over. And if he can do that, then certainly he will be bringing victory home for the Jennings players.
So Jedediah Martin is going to bowl the final over, his first delivery. The batsman is hitting it hard out to the long on region, just a run. 13 needed off 5. So if Jennings was to win, it will go all the way down to net run rate, and Rising Sun Spartans could find themselves in a spot of bother after looking as if they were going to go unbeaten. Ooh. Here is the delivery down the leg side, 4 runs. So wide called. Wide called by the umpire. Jennings, they are
protesting,
but the wide is already called by the umpire.
Yes,
so 4 runs given.
They seem to think that the ball may have brushed his pad on the way through. And it looked like there might have been some sort of deflection, but again, we're not sure. It might have been just off the pitch, but they're suggesting that the ball may have hit the pad of the batsman.
It's all happening here. So, did it touch the batsman? Yes, it did. The replay shows that it did touch the pad on the way through. Here is this delivery struck away out into the backward square region. They come back for 2 runs. So 6 runs they got off the last 2 deliveries. So what is the equation now?
They need 7.
7 off 3. Is that it?
Yes.
I take out my little eyes to help me. 7 off 3. Here is this delivery, and it's a dot ball. The batsman was looking to pull it away, and he missed it completely, and the ball going into the gloves of the wicketkeeper. So they still need 7 off 2. So Rising Sun Spartans looks as if they've thrown it away in this match tonight. But Martin just has to make sure that
no extra runs.
he doesn't give away an extra or give away a boundary at this time. Pressure on the batsman and on the bowler. Here is Martin. And this delivery is dropped on the onside.
No.
And they scramble through for a quick one. And they will get it in the end. So 6 needed of the final delivery. Is that it?
Yes.
Spartans, they are 49 for 6. And look how Rising Sun Spartans have made heavy weather of what we thought was a small score. The batsman is now trying to send off his helmet, so you know that he's going to try and have an almighty swing at this last one. But it's a dangerous thing to do, send off your helmet, because the ball could go anywhere and you don't want somebody getting hurt. But just 1 delivery to go. 6 runs needed for victory. And when you look down in the Rising Sun camp, they don't look a happy camp down there. Jennings would be happy. Here is the final delivery being bowled by Martin, and he's a good delivery, and 1 run taken. And Jennings, they would have upset the apple cart, and they defeat the Rising Sun Spartans. They've defended the small score of 53 they made. Spartans only getting to 50 for 6 in their 10 overs. What a match this is.
What a match indeed. And the Jennings team have to really be happy. Whatever happens from this stage on, whether they advance to the tournament, they would be very happy going out of this, finishing this preliminary rounds on a high with this performance tonight. They bowled very much with a lot of discipline tonight, even though they had a lot of difficulty scoring. The discipline that they had coming on to the field in the second half and defending those runs was very commendable. The Spartans team certainly did not look like they were in any chance of winning this match at any stage of their batting throughout. And so the Jennings team have to be happy, first of all, with the discipline of the bowlers, and secondly, with the result, taking home the victory tonight.
So victory for Jennings, and it comes down to net run rate as to who will qualify from this group between Rising Sun Spartans, the Liberta Blackhawks, and the Jennings team. And no doubt the mathematicians are all working together. The Blackhawks, I think, would have helped their cause this evening by winning with 4 overs to spare. So their net run rate would have increased. And with this match going right down to the end, it would bring down the net run rate of both teams, as it was a match that got all the way down to the final delivery. So the mathematicians will work it out, but it's a win for Jennings over the Rising Sun Spartan. Jennings making 53 in their turn at the crease, and then bowling out the Rising Sun Spartans. I'll give you the scorecards before we leave. In their innings, the Jennings, Peters made 16, Miller 5, Elijah Peters 5, Cameron Miller 1, 9 for Jedediah Martin, Gerald made 1, Trudge was substituted Brown. The Brown came in. Trudge had made 3. Brown came in, made only 1. And Africa made 4. 54 for 7 was the total. A wicket for Kadeem Phillip, 2 wickets for Bruni, a wicket for Dean Williams, and 2 for Williams. And Rising Sun, in their turn at the crease, really batted poorly. Wills got 7, Allen 15, Marshall 3, Phillip got 4, Charles got 3, Hodge was not out on 3, Baltimore made 2, and Donna was not out on 4. 50 for 6. And the wickets for Jennings, Brown got 1, Miller got 1, 2 for Orlando Peters, and in the end, Jennings winning by some 4 runs over Rising Sun Spartans. We'll be here again tomorrow evening for another set of matches in the ABCA T10 Splash to end the preliminary stages. So on behalf of Jack Matthew, who was here earlier, and of course Vincey Bowen and our scorer, Shadia Martin, and of course Mr. Laurie and his crew who does the streaming, Denmo Roberts saying, see you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. for more coverage of the ABCA T10 Splash. Until then, it's good night.